Recently, I purchased a used Native Instruments Maschine Plus, and it was off of eBay. And from the eBay description, it seemed like it was in really good condition, and it was at a good deal. So I purchased it, and when I received it and tested it, plugged it in, it wasn't working properly. And so, an issue with a lot of these used machine controllers is that the pads go really bad after a while, and as much as I tried to hit the pads, it just wouldn't trigger the samples properly. I had to hit it really hard, or I had to hit it in the top corners. And so I looked on YouTube to see if I could find a video that would help me fix the pad problem. And I came across the Quest for Grooves channel. And in the channel, he has a video where he shows how to fix the pads for his Maschine 3. And I know that the machine controllers all have a little bit of a difference internally. And so following his video, which I'll include down in the YouTube description down below, I opened it up, and let's go ahead and see what's going on. So as you can see here, I'm unscrewing the back of the Maschine Plus. You have to make sure that you unscrew everything carefully. I didn't count how many screws there were, but it's good to separate them because there's also screws inside the machine unit, and you should keep those separate from the outside screws. So now that I got the back plate off, I am unscrewing all the screws on the board of the Maschine Plus. You got to be very careful, you don't want to break anything. So first I'm taking off this black backing thing, and all the screws on this one are pretty similar. There's only a few that are a little bit different. And you want to make sure that you don't really unplug those, I think they're called ribbons. I left those in place. And so I'm taking all the screws and making sure I separate them from the back plate screws that I took out earlier. As you can see there, that's the pads of the Maschine Plus. They're pretty dirty, so I had to clean those. Also, those are the pad sheets. You want to make sure that you have everything set in proper place, because when you take it out, you're going to want to put it in the same exact way you did. As you can see there, I'm trying to put the pads back into place. What happened was that when I received the unit, the pads were kind of misaligned and they weren't pushed in fully. So by doing this, it actually worked pretty good, but you'll see that in a second. Right, so now that we have the board back in place and the pads in place, we're gonna lift it up slowly and put the pad sheet back on the way it came off. Make sure it's on top of it. There's also pegs that you place the pad sheet into. Put it in slowly. I didn't take the ribbons out of the motherboard. I just lifted it up like that because I was kind of scared of damaging the ribbons or whatever they're called. So I got the pad sheets back in place, have it secured. Make sure your wires are all connected. There's also a wire on the bottom right of the motherboard. You're going to want to take that out because you're going to unscrew a screw from it that a screw's connected to it. And then you're gonna put back the back bracing. Once everything is secured in properly, all the screws are in, I turn it back around and test it. And I want to make sure that all the buttons are working properly when I trigger them. All the knobs work properly. When I initially did this the first time, it wasn't working, and so I had to make sure everything was in properly. One of the ribbons was loose, and after putting that in place, it started working properly. As you can see, everything's working, all the pads are working, lights are working on the pads, and we're gonna go on to the next video where I will demonstrate how it sounds. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and test out all the buttons, see if everything's working properly. Seems like all the knobs work. Let me go ahead and switch to my samples. So the rotaries work. The main knob works. So let's go ahead and load a project and make sure all the pads are working. So it seems like it's doing good so far. Maybe I'll have to change the pad sheet eventually. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So I'm gonna load one of my projects and finger drum and see how it feels and sounds. Alright, so far it feels pretty good. Table's a little wobbly, so it's not very stable, but I'm not pressing too hard to trigger the samples. It's taking a little bit minimal force just to press the middle. Alright, now that everything seems to be working for the most part, I might have to get a new pad sheet in the future and test this out on a more stable table. Everything seems to be good, and I'm very happy with it. I'm glad I don't have to send it in for repairs. I can actually use it. All the other pads seem to be working, all the knobs seem to be working, so no issues there. So if you guys found this video very helpful, send me a subscribe or a follow, leave a comment, and leave a like. Also check out the Quest for Grooves video, which is listed in my YouTube description. It really helped me out a lot. Much props to him. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Peace.